welcome back to our global summit where your story matters. Today, I am back with our main stage speaker, Christina Napoleon. Christina is a #1 best-selling author, world-renowned positive widow coach, certified grief educator, keynote speaker, and compassionate founder of the Positive Widow, which we are going to get into further today. Having endured the loss of her husband when her daughter was just 6 years old, along with the loss of both parents, Christina understands grief in its deepest raw form. Her transformative 4-step hope philosophy, heal, open, protect, and encourage, guides widows to move forward with more light in the darkest of times. Ooh, I just got really kind of like head to toe soul shivers on that, head to toe. So that's truth. Whenever that happens to me, it's like I am living in the moment in truth.
It
So I cannot
is.
wait to unpack that. Through her groundbreaking grief relief group coaching program, she has created a safe space and supportive community that empowers widows to reclaim their courage, confidence, and purpose in life. This work is so important, Christina. Even the smallest baby step can lead to a life filled with meaning, connection, and joy. Christina's mission is to remind widows that they are not alone, and hope and healing are possible even after loss. Grief may shape their story, but it doesn't have to define their future. Christina, welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to see you again, Kate. Thank you
It
for
is
the opportunity to share my message of hope and healing. And I also want to honor and thank everyone that's here. Thank you for creating space and carving out time, closing the door, close off all distractions, immerse yourself in the next 3 days. So thank you for having me here, Kate.
It's such a pleasure to have you. Christina, your work is so, so important in the world. So it really is. I feel very grateful that we get to introduce you to our audience along with
Thank
your
you.
really transformative work. You're here today to talk about 4 simple ways to hope and healing after loss. Christina, tell us a little bit about your story of how you got to this place, right? We talked a little bit about it in your bio. Also, you have a technique that you also wanted to introduce to the audience. So I'm really going to open it up to you of where you feel you want to go with this. If you want to share a little bit of backstory, or if you want to start us off with your technique.
If that's okay with you, I would love to start a little breath work exercise. It always helps ground me. It
Right.
helps bring me to the present moment, especially on moments where my heart feels really heavy.
Hmm.
So I would like to ask your audience, and if you wanted to participate as well, to go ahead and close your eyes and place both of your hands on your heart.
Hmm.
And then I want to ask you if you can feel your heart beating. Do you feel it beating there right inside of your chest, underneath your hands? Do you know what that means? It is a gift, and it means you are alive. You are still here. You matter. You are worthy. Each morning, when you wake up and you touch your heart, place both hands over your heart. I love to do this during my gratitude prayers. And I thank God and I thank my heart. I thank my heart for the strength to carry me through the deepest, darkest days of my grief journey. When my heart was shattered into a million pieces, my heart kept me going. It kept me strong. And this is a gift to you. Each morning, we get to experience this gift. So I want to ask you to take a deep breath in. And as you inhale, I would like you to invite and welcome in hope, welcome in healing, welcome in courage, compassion, and kindness. And as you let that deep breath out, exhale out all of the worries, all the stresses, the anxieties, the fears, the limited beliefs. feel all of that leaving your body and welcoming in hope. And now, as you take another deep breath in, I would love for you to repeat after me. I am worthy. I
I,
am loved.
I am loved.
I am special.
I am special.
My story matters.
My story matters.
The light within me is stronger than the darkness around me.
The light within me is stronger than the darkness around me.
Hope and healing are coming, and I am so worthy of it.
Hope and healing are coming, and I am so worthy of it.
Let these words settle in and be a gentle whisper throughout this week, throughout the summit, anytime you feel like you're back in the despair of darkness. Thank you so much for letting me do that, Kate.
That was so beautiful, Christina.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
Very grounding. And what a beautiful opener, as you mentioned. It's interesting. I'm so glad you called that out. First and foremost, really kind of connecting in with our heart. I talk about these pearls of wisdom that all of our speakers will give us over the course of our summit. And I think that's one of the pearls of wisdom that you're going to give us today, to call out, which is, we have this breath and this heart, right? These things that happen automatically to give us an opportunity to be in this time and space. But how often do we just pause for just a moment to recognize and say, thank you for waking me up today, right? So I always say, God didn't forget to wake me up, so I don't forget to say thank you. And what a beautiful way for you to say thank you and really connect in with that heart through that exercise. So that's something I'll be using. Thank you so much.
You're
Christina, would
welcome.
you be open to sharing with us a little bit, about your story and what got you to a place where you can be a guiding light for people, even with the loss that you yourself have experienced?
Thank you so much for asking. I would love to ask your audience if they could just again close their eyes and imagine losing the most important person in your life, waking up and knowing that they're no longer going to be here to share raising your daughter with, to share the joys, the trials, and the triumphs of life. If you're sitting with that weight of darkness today, I want you to hear me. You are not alone. There is a way forward.
Mm.
And today I want to show you how to take those steps with my message, how I turn my mess of widowhood into a message to hope and healing. The night that my husband died, I was left alone with a 6-year-old little girl, and I did not know the first steps I needed to take as a widow. I was a we, and now I was a me. How did I move forward when it was always, we are going to do this, we're going to do that? And now all the responsibilities were on my shoulder. Everything was about me. I did not know how to take that first step. I came from a world of finance. Everything was structured, everything was written out in checklists. But the night that he died, nobody gave me a set of instructions. Nobody gave me a checklist and told me these are the first steps that you need to take as you enter widowhood. So I was lost. I was alone. I felt so isolated on an island of grief by myself. And I did not know how to navigate those uncharted waters. And as you know, Kate, I live right here in Southwest Florida by the beautiful beaches. So I often compare grief to the ocean waves. And my pivotal moment in my story was I dropped my daughter off at school, went to the beach, where usually that is my sanctuary. But that morning, I was just stuck in darkness and despair. I did not know how to get out of those waves that kept knocking me down. And as I stood there, I just wanted to stop feeling so exhausted,
Mm.
feeling so hopeless, and all this darkness. I just wanted to run home and put the covers over my head, close the curtains, shut out the world. But it was in that moment that I no longer wanted those grief waves to keep bringing me down. I wanted to find hope again. I made a decision right then and there that I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to learn how to swim through those grief waves, how to get back to the shoreline. And I wanted to find that light again, not sit at the bottom of the darkest ocean. If you think about it, not only did I lose myself, and not only did my daughter lose her daddy, she also lost her mommy. That carefree, fun loving, happy go lucky girl that who used to be her mommy, she was no longer there. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even find the energy to take a shower, let alone laugh with her. So I was determined. I was on a mission to learn as much as I could about grief so I could help myself through those grief waves, learn how to swim back to the shore. I immersed myself in 3 years of grief training, became a certified grief educator, a grief coach. And in that time, I had hired other grief counselors to help me with my grief. But what I found, Kate, that was just so surprising to me is that you can be a certified grief educator, certified grief coach, counselor, but if you're only teaching with textbook knowledge and not from experience, life experience, I wasn't able to get the tools I needed. My counselors didn't understand spousal loss. They didn't understand what it's like to go to bed at night alone, not getting that good night hug or good night kiss, waking up in the morning to the cup of coffee, sitting out on the lanai in the patio and holding hands. They didn't understand that raw, true grief that I was feeling. So I wanted to learn as much as I could and help other widows start to feel hope and for them to want to also move away from those grief waves and move back toward the shoreline to the light and hope.
Wow. That is so important. What an important thing to pull out and note that it is really truly more effective and powerful when you're learning from someone who has been through the experience themselves. There is just a different element that is threaded through. And sometimes it's a feeling, and sometimes it's an energy, and sometimes it's a knowledge, and sometimes it's an intuitive guidance. It's all of these things combined that when you have gone through something, you know a little bit differently in a different way what someone may need and what tool they may need in the particular experience that they're in because you've been through it. So I really like that you shared that with us to help us view your work from that perspective. So you talked about uh, grief relief group coaching. And so
Yes.
I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that. And is this the primary way that you work with people, or are there multiple ways that you work with people?
Thank you so much for asking. Absolutely. I get very passionate when I talk about I call them my sisterhood, my soul sisters.
Yeah.
Um, I love my soul sisters, and honestly, they have helped me as much as I have helped them.
Mhm.
But I first started with a private Facebook group called The Positive Widow. And I learned so much through them. And I decided to write a book, The Positive Widow, which is on Amazon. It was while writing this book, believe it or not, this is where my healing started. I cannot encourage anyone enough to write your story because it does matter. I had no idea the impact that this book would make on so many widows. And not only widows, I actually have other people that have bought my book and wrote on their testimonials that they were going through a divorce and they could relate to a lot of what I was saying. All of my all my healing tips and self-care tools that I share in my book. But I wanted to create soul maps and guides and grief guides for my clients, and so they would know what is that first step. And I always talk about baby steps inside of my group.
Mhm.
It's just little baby steps that you need to take and will help you move forward with more peace and hope and love in your heart and less pain. I saw the impact it was making, and I decided to take it one step further. So I created the Positive Widow Grief Relief Group Coaching Program. And it has been the most wonderful thing I've ever done that I'm most proud of in my life. the sisterhood. It's a small, intimate group each time I launch it. I'm about ready to launch one in February. I keep it very small. I coach them, I teach them, and then I bring in grief experts for body movement exercises. Carrie is one of my guest experts, and I love her dearly. And she does meditation and she shares how grief can just sit deep in your body and bring so many medical issues. So we have to learn and nurture our heart, nurture the way we take care of ourselves. Then I end it with a hope seat. And it's just that's where the magic happens. That's where the breakthrough happens. It's a place, a safe space for my widow clients to sit together on Zoom. It's virtual and share stories about their husbands or their loved ones and not feel that they're being shamed. Instead, their grief is being witnessed and the connection. Oh my goodness. 50% of healing comes from connection. And this is where they can share their stories and be able to carry their husbands in their hearts forever. Because in the outside world, sometimes we're judged, we're shamed, and we're told, oh, it's time to move on. And they don't understand. But in my little beautiful grief relief group coaching program, we can all share that space together.
I'm taking some notes here on what you said because it is important to first of all note that grief can come in different forms, right? You mentioned that it was unexpected to you, but people who have gone through divorce were experiencing certain things that they could relate to in what you shared, right?
Yes.
That is what happens, by the way, when we share our story, whether it be in this platform or through a book. That is often what happens, is that I always say when you speak to everyone, everyone goes, oh, she's talking to them, right? But
Mm,
when you speak to one
yes.
person, then everyone can self-elect into your story and find themselves, maybe not in all of it, but in parts of it. Right. And so that's what you did. You spoke to one person, and now different types of people are self-electing into your story saying, I can relate to that part and that part and that part because it's so specific. They go, oh, wow, that's
Yes.
exactly what I went through. Maybe not the entire thing, but
Right.
definitely pieces of it. Right. So that's a really important part of it. And I can tell, I want to really pull this out because it's very, very important for people who are going to work with you, to understand, that I can really appreciate and I can know where you are now on your healing journey after you shared with me that the writing process was the most cathartic, right? And that's really important, right? Because you want to work with coaches and you want to work with people who can guide you that really have come through this healing journey. So we have published over 650 authors, as you know. And when
Yes.
people come back to us, Christina, okay, and this is something that I did not know in the beginning, just like some things that were surprised you about publishing. This was one of the things that really surprised me. I knew people would want to share their story. I know that they would connect with, people who were waiting to hear about their topic or, their message. I understood even what it would do for their business. Christina, what I did not account for was that 99% of those authors came back to me when I asked what was the number one thing that you received out of this process. And 99% of them came back to me and still do. And they say what I got out of the book writing process was this was the most cathartic and healing journey I've ever been
Healing.
through in my life. And I was like,
Healing.
wow, it took a while for me to go, everyone's saying this. So now right now I expect it, but I did not expect that in the beginning. I thought, oh, everyone wants to be an author. This is fun. This is going to, help with business, it's going to help with clients. And really what you go on this journey that you might not expect in the beginning, but you come out of the other side really truly more of an expert in your field and your
Mhm.
message and what it is that you're talking about, and healed in a different way than people who have not been through that journey. So that's really important. And the Positive Widow is on Amazon for all of you to purchase. And I think that's an important part for people to buy your book,
Yes.
see your journey from that
Yes.
perspective as well. Um, the other thing I want to know, Christina, is your genuine care for people that comes through just so beautifully. Um,
You.
it just shines. You radiate true care for people. This is not something that you can fake. It's not something you can
It's
fake.
no, I'm out there. I'm always raw,
Yeah.
real, authentic. They've seen
Yes.
my blunders, my oops moments when I go live on the beach. They've seen it all.
Yes.
So
And we see it here, right? Even in the time that we've been together, we can see that you care about your people, you care about your soul sisters, and you care about the people that you are inviting in for, people that you may travel with this next year, right? That you haven't even met yet. And we
yes,
can really feel that here. So I want to honor you for that and for your work.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really important piece of it. And so tell us, Christina, do you have a free gift for us or how can we connect with you and get into your world?
Thank you so much for asking. If any of my message today has resonated with anyone, I would love to connect with you. You can find me. I have a website, thepositivewidow.com. I also am found all over social media under Christina Napoleon or The Positive Widow. But if you have more questions or want more details about my grief relief group coaching program, send me an email.
Yeah.
Positivewidow@outlook.com. That is the best way to reach me because with private DMs, I get so many, and I don't want any of those messages to get lost. And I also have 3 free grief guides for any of you that are watching today. Just put that in your email to me, and I can email you. One is tips on surviving the holidays after loss. Oh, big events too, the birthdays, the anniversaries. It's all in that grief guide. My second one is financial reference guide for new widows. I come from finance 25 plus years, and now I've shifted gears into
Mm.
becoming a grief coach and healing coach. So that was a big shift. And I'm like, I have to somehow put my finance experience into this because I made so many mistakes, even coming from the world of finance when I became a widow. And I share all of the dirty and all the single mistakes I made because of widow's fog. So I have a guide for that. And then my third one is Soul Map for hopeful mornings and peaceful evenings, just little practical tasks to check off because we forget sometimes to take that shower when we're deep in grief, brush our teeth, super easy little tasks.
Mm.
So that's one way you can reach me. And I also, on Saturday night, it's not too late, I'm hosting my first ever, I have a coloring book for stress and anxiety. So it's called The Color and Connect, The Positive Widow on Saturday night. It's not too late. If you wanted to order, it's on Amazon and you can email me proof of the purchase and then I will get you the invitation on Zoom to join us Saturday night.
Amazing. So many different ways to connect with Christina. So if you felt that little pull in your heart, that little tug to learn more about her, what she does, the ways that she works with people, all the information will be here in the summit as well. So we'll make it very, very easy for you to contact
Thank
Christina,
you.
get in touch with her, get all of her tips and tools that she is sharing with you. Christina, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story.
Thank you for the opportunity to raise awareness for widowhood, for grief, and that there is hope and healing after loss. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
What an amazing, amazing share. Oh, beautiful story. So much help being offered here for so many people in our audience who I know can use this information and really benefit from being in Christina's energy and experience and love. Because that is what
Mhm.
Christina radiates. It to me, it just feels like pure acceptance and love. Um, Thank you all so much for being a part of our summit. We will be continuing throughout the day today. We want you to know that you matter, and we want you to always remember that your story matters. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here.
Thank
Bye.
you.